All right, everyone, welcome back to GDQ HOTFIX. We've got the second to last run here for the Super Metroid 25th Anniversary Celebration. Coming up after this is going to be the Any% Open Race. The race channel on that is for Open on SRL, so if you want to join in that, make sure you hop over into their IRC or get your live split ready to join. But we're going to do double anti-bingo with Asjur and Just Defend. And we've got two new commentators here. We've got Alucard and Cross Product. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having us tonight. So
yeah, I'm excited. Happy anniversary, Super Metroid.
So one of the things, because of this format, we got to make sure that they're ready to pick for their opponents. Do you want to explain how double anti-bingo works while we're getting everything finalized?
Yeah, I can go over double anti-bingo. So obviously we have a grid will be up on the board, 5x5, different goals, different items to collect in Super Metroid, rooms to visit in Super Metroid. So it's like bingo, you have to get 5 in a row, 5 on a horizontal line, vertical line, or diagonal. Now, this is double bingo, which means that you have to get 2 rows or columns or diagonals, but also it's double anti-bingo, which means you have to get 1 set of 5 of your own choosing and another set of 5 chosen by your opponent. So you're going to look at that bingo card, try to find what's going to be the most time-consuming row, column, or diagonal, and I'm going to make my opponent do that. Of course, your opponent could also pick that for you.
Yeah, so it's a really interesting dynamic where you have to make a decision at the very beginning of the game about what your opponent is forced to do, and then you have to really come up and be creative about your route through the game, and try to combo what they've forced you to do with something, hopefully nice to go along with it, or something that works, in a route. And so you have to really kind of think on the fly and think quickly, because that's announced right when the timer hits 0. Your opponent's going to tell you, you have to do this row, or you have to do this diagonal or column, and you just have to go for it.
I think that there have been some comments thrown out today about how every Super Metroid run starts out the same. Well, it is also sort of true in double anti-bingo. You're going to see the runners go through Sarah Station. You're going to see them go and collect Morph Ball and missiles. But the mental game begins as soon as the clock starts. So although the execution is the same from the beginning as any other run, what's going through your head is just going to be completely different from, okay, I need to go and remember this strat and this trick and this. No, it's, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
All right, so the runners have selected what they are going to give their opponents. So we are going to start the timer here very shortly, just giving them a little bit of a warning.
So I'm also going to point out a little tidbit. This card's a little personal to me because it has one of my absolute all-time favorite tiles out of the 25 and my absolute most dreaded least favorite tile. And I'll let Alucard go over some of the more important or more confusing tiles and try to guess which those are.
And here we go.
All right, we're getting things started. As Cross did mention, we're going to go through Series Station, kind of standard. But again, this is a really important time for the runners to be thinking about what to do. We've got Asjur assigning top left to bottom right for Just Defend, and Just Defend has assigned column 5 for Asjur. So you want to run us through some of these objectives, and then we can talk about, what the implications of those are. Why don't we start with top left to bottom right for Just Defend here?
Yeah, I'm going to be tracking Just Defend in the blue, I think. So let's go over that first. Collect only 1 of Speed Booster or Grapple Beam. So you have to get 1 of the 2, but you cannot get both. Defeat Spore Spawn. I'm sure the folks at home will be happy to see that one. Collect all 25 Brinstar Power Bombs, which is half the power bombs in the game. So good luck with that. Collect Spring Ball and skip Ice Beam. Well then, most runners will require either Ice Beam or Grapple Beam in order to get into the Spring Ball area. So if you combine that with your top left, like Speed Booster or Grapple Beam, it's generally going to mean you have to pick up Grapple Beam. So it's going to be no Speed Booster for Just Defend, as far as I can tell. And then also the bottom right tile, visit Criteria Meridia Elevator, which I think visiting an elevator means you actually have to ride the elevator, if I'm not mistaken, according to bingo rules. And that
believe
is
so.
that particular elevator might be known colloquially among the Super Metroid runners as the Forgotten Highway elevator, one that you will literally never see except. Actually, we just saw it in G4, didn't we? In Cold Teresa run, didn't we? GT Classic.
Yeah, we sure did.
Forgot
But
about that.
you know, this is another category where you
Or
get
at
to see
least
the
in an
appearance
RBO
of,
run. I don't
the
know.
Criteria Meridia elevator, so it's kind of exciting to see that. And both of our runners are going to be visiting that Criteria Meridia elevator, as Azure is doing column 5, getting 75 plus missiles, so just going to have to go out of the way and get all the fanfares for 75 missiles. Each missile pack.
Yeah,
always giving
anytime you
5
see a
missiles.
big number on that bingo board, it's usually a good one to make your opponent do.
Yeah, absolutely. Collecting all 15 Norfair power bombs is a really interesting one because Crocomire is required in order to collect one of those power bombs. You already have to do the work to kill that mini boss and get past him to get one of your power bomb packs. Then 2 are in lower Norfair, so you have to lava dive and go all the way into lower Norfair, almost to Ridley, to get one of your packs, and kind of on the lower Norfair escape to get your other one. So that is a bit time consuming. That is definitely one to watch out for and to see how Azure routes that in. 6 plus energy tanks, again, more item collection. Gotta collect as many as you can along the way. Both of our players, of course, gonna have to visit Spore Spawn. So Azure will end up in Spore Spawn's room. So he's gonna have to go all the way down to Lower Norfair and then come back to Brinstar to finish in Spore Spawn's room. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we're going into the Criteria Meridia elevator, which is quite out of the way in that Forgotten Highway.
All right, and just as we finish up the explanation, the runners have already grabbed their first missile pack and are going to have to decide where to go from here. And I believe since Astor has to collect 75 missiles, there's a pretty... no, okay. Oh, wait, which... Never mind, he's on the top. But he does actually skip the beta missiles. But maybe that means he'll come back later and get the Billy Mays as well, or... I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. Maybe he'll route that in when he does have power bombs to gain access to more of those. But there are a lot of missile packs available, you know, as you're just kind of wandering through the game. And
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's
he's starting to
75.
calculate which ones he wants. Yeah.
75 out of 230, so he's got his pick.
But, you know, if there's one right in front of him, he's definitely going to be grabbing it as quickly as he can. You see some nice platforming here from JD as they're heading towards Brinstar. So some of the other interesting options on the card, I do see finish in Metal Pirate Room. Would be nice to combo with the Norfair power bombs. However, Azure is forced to finish in Spore Spawn's room, so you can't create a contradiction like that on the card. So you're not even allowed to pick row 2 if you are forced to do column 5. So that could be part of the strategy that JD has employed here, which is really interesting.
Yeah, and also important to note, I believe that the bingo cards are programmed in such a way that it'll never put 2 such tiles in the same row, column, or diagonal.
That is
At least
correct.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So, have you figured out yet what my least favorite and favorite tiles are on this card? For me to have to do personally.
That's a tough one. I mean, I think skip high jump boot is my guess as your least favorite.
Absolutely,
because skipping high jump is
absolutely
really annoying. Yeah, high jump is just one of those critical items that it just helps you with movement through the game and going fast. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you're racing. You gotta beat your opponent, and so if you force them to skip high jump boots, then that can work out. But it looks like there were some other valuable objectives that the players wanted to force on the
That's
other.
already one of 6 energy tanks required by Astor there. Yeah, any guesses on what my favorite tile is on the card?
Favorite tile?
You know me, you should know the answer to this. I won a race because my opponent picked this tile for me once. Maybe that'll help you.
collect Spring Ball and skip ice?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay, that was my initial instinctive guess because I know that there is an alternative strategy to using Grapple Beam to go visit Shack Tool and get your Spring Ball.
Yep, and we will see if JD actually is up to snuff on his Crystal Flash Clip strat. But I don't know. I know a handful of runners. I know that Sephi has actually done it in a race before. But some people, a handful of people have put some time into practicing it. But yeah, I actually did win a race because my opponent thought that was such a good tile to pick against me, but I just Crystal Flash Clipped into Shack Tool.
So we're already seeing Azure go a bit out of the way here. You're seeing him collect a couple of these missile packs in Brinstar Reserve. It's a couple quick missiles back here. Definitely worth your time to go grab those. Brinstar just has a lot of missiles, so it's well worth it.
I'm a little surprised to see JD not killing Spore Spawn immediately. That is a required objective for him.
Maybe he's thinking about how he can combo that with collecting all 25 Brinstar power bombs, or
that is true.
Something
He'll have to
else.
return to Big Pink for the Mission Impossible power bombs. That's right.
Right, so he could be considering some other option that combos well with it. We do also see in the bottom left corner defeat Spore Spawn and Bot Wound. So, since he does have to go into Meridia anyways to collect Spring Ball, and go into the Criteria Meridia elevator and all that, it could be advantageous to beat Bot Wound anyways and try to knock stuff out that way. Yeah.
And of course, he is already going to collect the first 2 Brinstar Power Bomb packs here, and possibly even go to Wreck Ship and grab Gravity, because that will be one of his most important items for that Meridia traversal. So interesting. I think that a new strat that has been discovered over the past year or two, the Moon Dance, which allows access to a power bomb pack early on in Brinstar, might have come in handy here for JD. But like I said, it's a relatively new strat, and it's really kind of niche. It doesn't fit into that many of the mainstream Super Metroid speedrun categories, so maybe he hasn't quite picked that one up yet. But anyway, that's one power bomb pack down, and he's going to take a save here. I don't blame him. 92 energy going into the Side Hopper room. Side Hoppers deal, 80 damage per hit? Yeah, that's just a smart save from JD. I like it.
Yeah, definitely a heads-up play. Just, make sure you're farmed up. You don't take any deaths, because you're just going to lose even more time. It looks like JD is skipping that Beta Power Bomb pack. So maybe not going for the collect all 25 Brinstar power bombs, or thinking about routing that in later.
I mean, that's on his diagonal. He has to do that.
That's true. I'm a little surprised.
Whoops, maybe? Well, we'll see.
I mean, he may be coming down
that's a good
Red
point.
Tower anyways.
He does. There is a power bomb pack on the ship, but that's Criteria. That's not Brinstar. He does not have to get the ship power bombs. So maybe he just figures he'll pick up that power bomb pack on the way out.
The only tricky part is routing in that Criteria Meridia elevator as well. So that he does have to find it. Both of these players have to find an opportunity to go visit that.
Good point. Would there be any reason for him to go all the way to Tragon? I don't think so. So far, both runners have high jump boots. There's that.
We have a couple of collect Plasma Beam tiles on the board here, like collect Plasma Beam or defeat Ridley. You don't have to do. It says one or the other. You don't have to do both.
You know what? I'm looking at column 4 for JD right now. Column 4 for JD. Skip high jump boots. I mean, technically he's already done that. Norfair map station isn't too far out of the way, and he won't be able to get wrecked ship reserve tank since he didn't grab a speed booster yet. But Norfair reserve tank isn't terrible, and Criteria power bomb, he can easily grab that on his way back before he goes down Red Tower again. So I don't know. I haven't studied this in depth, and hopefully JD has, but maybe he's looking at column 4.
That is interesting. Yeah, I do like that column quite a bit. Doubling back to Criteria power bombs can be a bit slow. I would expect him to go do that like now. if he would do that, like right after Fantoon. But again, routing in the Criteria Meridia elevator is also going to be a little tricky.
Yeah,
as
that
well.
is the tricky one. So we'll see. Once he grabs gravity, so he'll either go through Forgotten Highway to hit that elevator, or maybe he'll go back and get those Criteria power bombs.
Meanwhile, we have seen Azure kill Kraid and collect the Varia suit, so this could be hinting at an early lava dive coming up soon for Azure.
True, which I've known Asder to say he won't do so without high jump boots. So I don't think he's going for column 4 if that's what his plan is.
Or row 3 for that matter, I suppose, especially
Yeah.
since he has collected Varia and not skipped it, so he will not be eligible for that for row 3 or column 1.
That's just convenient then.
Picking up another E-tank, of course. I mean, that's good if you're lava diving anyways, and he has to get 6 or more.
Yeah,
So
6
Good on
E-tanks is pretty free as far as the tiles runners have been dealt are.
yeah, he'll actually be able to grab one in Lower Norfair, potentially too, if he wants. And it'll be interesting to see if he decides to go for Crocomire. I doubt he will.
Oh,
But
and
I-
you know what?
Oh wait, he has to go. He has to go for Crocomire. No, so that he can get an E-tank at Croc. He can get 2 E-tanks. He gets 1 here at High Jump, and he gets 1 in Fire Flea. He's like 1 away. He's
Okay,
actually,
so-
yeah, it's gonna be pretty good for him.
JD has passed on a fairly easy super missile pack to grab. Although, since he has to kill Spore Spawn, if he's going for row 4, that 15 plus super missiles, or column 1, obviously, it makes a lot of sense to grab the Spore Spawn super since he has to kill Spore Spawn anyway. Meh. Man, that's what 30 missiles already. So you see 75 missiles. It's a lot of item fanfares, but not really that difficult to find 25 missile packs, you know.
Really clean attic there from Just Defend. And I know he wants his gravity, so he is on the way.
Yeah, once he picks that, he'll be good for the row 3 column 1 square, collect gravity suit, and skip Varia suit, because unless you're fighting Mother Brain, there's literally no reason to grab Varia suit.
Yeah, and what entails skipping an item is just not collecting it. Once you do collect it, then you lose that objective, I suppose.
Yeah, so in contrast to that, you see row 3 column 2, collect Plasma Beam or defeat Ridley. That is an inclusive or. The runners can do one or the other or both. That is not to be confused with the collect and skip tile. So if it says collect and skip, or if it says collect one of, then that's exclusive, but collect Plasma Beam or defeat Ridley, you can actually do both.
So Azure has collected Ice Beam, so not going to be going for that Spring Ball play, which is reasonable considering none of his objectives really interact with Meridia, so he may just try to stay out of Meridia if at all possible.
And congratulations to Just Defend, who has just achieved the first tile of the game. He got collect gravity suit, so let's hope he doesn't skip. Let's hope he doesn't accidentally pick up Varia and lose that tile.
That would be unfortunate, but I
Again,
don't
this-
suspect we'll see him go to Kraid at all.
Yeah, there's really no reason to kill Kraid and no reason to collect Varia. But this is not randomizer, folks, so Varia suit doesn't actually do anything for him at this point, other than mitigate damage from Rainbow Beam, but doesn't really show up in randomizer, or in Bingo.
We do
Any
see
tile
JD
that-
going down Red Tower again, so this is a good opportunity to grab that
Beta.
Brinstar power bomb that he skipped over.
And possibly even
got
go all the way
grab.
back to Spore Spawn. So one of the things that, speaking of randomizer, that I absolutely love about Dab, so get this. If you're a fan of randomizer because it allows runners to think on their toes and route on the fly, then Dab is for you. If you dislike randomizer because it places more emphasis on randomness than on player skill, then Dab is also for you because it is 100% player skill and not random in the least. Except for
see
actual
Azure picking up
randomness.
his first tile of collect Speed Booster, only one of Speed Booster or Grapple.
Yeah, so as you said, he picked up Ice Beam, so he's definitely not going for top left to bottom right. And why would he? That's the one he picked for his opponent. I don't think he fancies that diagonal there.
Right, that tile is now not available. Collect only one of Ice Beam or Speed Booster. So no column 3, no row 2. And I think Azure is grabbing some more missiles on the way to grab Wave Beam while JD enters Meridia, or has opened it up at the very least. Looks like gonna just open it up for now and head down to Norfair first.
Huh, that's interesting. Actually, picking up Wave Beam doesn't really do anything other than extra damage to Ridley. It doesn't, because he can reverse Wave Gate, he can... probably isn't depending on the Wave Beam for damage against normal foes, so I think he's going for killing Ridley.
Now, what's interesting is the runners don't have to intersect their objective rows, columns, or diagonals.
Well, JD does because he has a diagonal.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
But in Azure's case, column 2 could actually look like a pretty good option. Has to defeat has to visit Spore Spawn anyways, finish in Spore Spawn's room, so it could defeat Spore Spawn. Gotta get a few more energy tanks. That could be tricky, but it's not too bad. There's a bunch in Brinstar that he could clean up. And he's kind of set himself up to go down to lower Norfair. Maybe he'll just beat Ridley while he's there.
Yeah, it looks like he's collecting
Meridian Map isn't bad. You can actually get to Meridian Map pretty easily without...
Yeah, Meridian Map's just go east from Main Street. Just from the tube area. Tube area, go up, then east.
Right, and since he has to go back to the Brinstar area anyways to finish in Spore Spawn's room, you can maybe make a pit stop at Criteria Super Missile. So keep an eye on that column too. It might be where he's going. He does have to beat Croc here to get that Norfair power bomb. He's going to grab another E-Tank along the way. So this is
true. So
pretty
that's
predictable play. Yeah.
Really good from Azure. You know, I have to collect 6 E-Tanks. Why not 9? I have to end in Spore Spawn's room. Why not kill him? And you actually just saw that reverse wave gate glitch from Just Defend. Managed to hit the blue gate from the other side with a missile or a charge shot. I didn't see what you did. Either works. And he's also going to fight Crocomire. He needs to collect that grapple beam so that he can go to Spring Ball without the ice clip.
Very reasonable choice to just knock this out right now.
And like I said, if he's going for that 15 plus super missiles, JD will probably just pick up the Spore Spawn super since that's where he's going to be.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So we're going to look for Azure to grab these power bombs and probably leave, but we'll see. If maybe if he grabs grapple beam, then he might be thinking something else.
Yeah, like you said, he did get, you know what? He picked up Speed Booster, and that fits in with column 2, since you need Speed Booster to get Criteria Super Missile.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's just piecing out on the grapple beam. He was forced to get the power bomb pack, and he'll get the E-Tank, which he's also forced to get 6. So maybe he's planning on picking up 9. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's going for column 2.
And we're gonna see a lava dive coming up from Azure. Gonna spark across this hallway here. Pretty swag. As we see JD heading down to grab his prize in the grapple beam.
Yeah, and he hasn't grabbed a Speed Booster yet, so it looks like he's going to go for an infinite bomb jump to get up here.
Well, he really can't. He can only get one of Speed Booster or grapple.
That's true. Right, that was the whole point of top left to bottom right. That was the beauty of it, that forced to get grapple and not the Speed Booster.
And that's 2 objectives for JD. Now we'll see if that collect gravity suit and skip Varia is in play for him, if that's really what he's thinking about. But that's appears to be maybe what he's going for.
Alright, as there's farming up, it looks like he's gonna go for that lava dive, like you said.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, 15 Norfair power bombs. You have to go down here. Like,
Yeah, and this is as close as he's gonna be, assuming he's going for column 2.
And you're grabbing the fast items like high jump and speed booster. You want to be. There's a reason people like to get those items early on in runs in this game. It just helps you go fast. So, getting those, and as long as you're comfortable doing that lava dive,
You know
which we're about
what?
to see here, then
I think I know why Aster picked up Wave Beam. It's for worst room in the game. Although, I don't know, he's got a ton of missiles deal, but if he
I
wants
think
to
it's
do-
so that he can beat Ridley. I think he's going for
Oh,
again,
I'm
column
sorry,
2.
I completely
for the
forgot what I
damage.
said 10 minutes ago. Right. Yeah, it's for the defeat, really, almost definitely. So, speaking of worst room in the game, that's reason enough to take a safety save here. So, there goes Aster. And
Yeah, and we're seeing our runners with
Good
two
tech.
different suits, which is really interesting. So, like, what are the implications of only having Varia right now for Azure as he goes through Lower Norfair?
yeah, that's twice as much damage as he'd be used to taking in a normal any percent run. But he also plays randomizer, so he knows what he's getting himself into. So we'll see if he grabs. Screw attack would be a nice luxury here, but it's pretty time consuming.
Oh, interesting. JD. I
He's
guess
for
he's
the
going
map
to.
station.
He's going for the. Well, he's going for Spring Ball too.
Okay, he's
Maybe he's
getting
going
the
for
map
map station
station
as
now.
well.
He's absolutely getting the map station. He does have to get Spring Ball and visit that elevator. So, all right, that he doesn't actually have to interact with the map station. He just has to enter the room. So that tells us he's obviously thinking of row 4 or column 2.
Or the
And-
other diagonal is another option that could be.
Oh yeah.
But 75 plus missiles, we haven't seen him go out of the way for a lot of missiles, so I doubt he's going
True.
for that. And I think he would have grabbed the Norfair reserve tank.
And well, he can't
he was
he,
there.
he can't do column 2 because he can't pick up speed booster for Criteria Super Missile.
That's true.
So is it
That's
row
a blue
4?
suit or
So
something.
maybe. Maybe he knows his elevator crystal flashes. So 15 plus super missiles, that's free. Gauntlet energy tank or X-ray scope. I mean, that's not too bad.
He's gonna
he's
go back to
already-
Brinstar anyways. So
And finish in Spore Spawn's room. Well, he better pick up his 3rd super missile pack first before he goes to Spore Spawn if that's what he's going for.
I mean, he does have grapple, so that can get X-ray reasonably quickly. I mean,
That's true.
we also
but-
have plenty of tools for that.
He's apparently we've eliminated the diagonal and we've eliminated column 2. He's going for row 4, which means he better grab that 3rd super missile pack because unless he grabs, he could do the Spore Spawn Misters the back door and then go up and kill him. Okay. Although at that point, I think he may as well have just gotten the extra super missile pack and wrecked ship. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. So here's everybody's favorite Shack tool. JD spares him for now.
Boo! And we got Azure going for one of the 2 Norfair power bombs down in Lower Norfair. So about to grab the one here at the power bombs of shame.
And this is
We
the
like to
deciding
call it.
moment. If he continues down the Ridley, then he is definitely going for column 2, I think.
Well, he can't really do anything else as a part of this, I think. And there he goes. He is going down to defeat Ridley. And again, that's why he grabbed all those beams. This is very similar to the any percent route. So, probably feel at home with that one.
Oh, he can get. Well, he can't get plasma beam because he hasn't killed Dragon. So he was about to head to the elevator, but then he remembered he needed something else.
Well, he needed a super missile to open the door, and he doesn't have one.
Oh!
First of all, a big problem.
Yep. Shout outs to certain Super Metroid puzzles that require opening green doors.
Thought you might notice that. But anyways, it looks like
yeah. Oh, that's
he
rough.
may just go through vanilla. He might have been going for the Forgotten Highway, is my guess, but it looks like he's unable to at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. If only he had picked up that wrecked ship super missile pack.
Yeah, I guess that would have done it.
So these green flies have like a 99% chance of dropping super missiles unless you need them. That's my theory.
As you're trying to play it real safe here, Ridley does a lot of damage if you get hit. Do not want to get hit by Ridley, especially the tail.
He has taken a save at the top of the elevator. I do not know if he took a save in the station just outside of Ridley. Ridley's one of those guys that, as an experienced runner, you never think he's going to kill you. It's easy to get pretty cocky when it comes to him. See, he has fairly predictable patterns, but he does a ton of damage, so sometimes he just has to show you who's boss sometimes.
And you can get comboed too if you're
Yeah.
not careful.
I think he can get knocked into the acid.
There's a lot of stuff, yeah.
It's
But
like...
looks
if
like
you play
JD
the
did
pattern-
make it back up there, so
Yeah, he picked up his super missile. If you follow the patterns, it can go very well and you can get through the fight and only get hit by a stray fireball or two, but when things go wrong, they can go quite wrong. And this is another E-tank for Asdor as well. That's pretty good.
yeah, that'll get him 2 objectives immediately. Very strong play.
So, chat is saying he needs another super missile, but I don't think that's the case. Can't think of another green shell that's in his way. I guess he will need one when he gets back to Red Tower, but there are 2 cack attacks in that room. I don't think he'll have a problem.
But JD has visited the Criteria Meridia elevator. This is the one we were talking about that's super out of the way. He's going through that Forgotten Highway.
Yep, the shared tile between the 2 runners, actually.
Yeah, I think he's gonna exit through the wrecked ship, and he can grab the Gauntlet energy tank maybe on his way back to Brinstar.
Yeah, he can do that or X-ray scope. It's an interesting choice.
Since he's already visited Red Tower to grab the power bombs, I suspect that...
But he has to go back to Red Tower because he has to get all the Brinstar power bombs.
He has to go
hasn't
back
gotten
to
baited.
Pink. No, he went back. He went back.
Oh, he did
On
go
the way down to Meridia.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I missed that one. Okay.
On the way back to, like, back to Norfair and then Meridia, so...
There's some tricky rooms coming up for Asdor. Every one of these, every time he gets hit by one of these key hunters, that's going to deal 100 damage to him. But here's another E-tank coming up for him. He's going to skip that. He knows what he's grabbing, I guess.
Well, then that means maybe
Thanks.
not 9+ energy tanks in the cards for Asdor here.
But he... Huh. But he defeated Ridley, which, as far as I can tell, is only on column 2, row 3.
Oh.
He can't do row 3 since he collected Various suit.
Well, one other thing that can kind of come up in these runs is a runner can change what their selected row or column or diagonal is. So maybe
That's true.
he had the intention of going for that row 3 column 2 and then decided to switch it up. Who knows? We'll see.
Well,
But
he
that
has to go
is
back
all
to...
the Norfair power bombs for Asdor.
I don't know, I'm thinking he has to go back to Big Pink, which means 2 energy tanks. You know, he's got the waterway possibility, and he also has the one behind the orange door. And then, well, Another E-Tank somewhere. I doubt he'll get one in Meridia. He didn't get Gravity Suit.
I guess Blue Brinstar, maybe? There's some missiles there for him as well.
That's true. Maybe he was intending to go back to those Billy May missiles all along. And here's a missile pack for him. Get your Franker Z's in chat. And yep, you were right. It's going to be the Gauntlet E-Tank for JD here.
Oh, we're being reminded that he already got the Firefleet E-Tank
Oh, okay.
on his way in towards Ridley. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, especially...
I remember him
without-
popping in
okay.
there.
Without the
Yeah.
Gravity Suit, picking up some extra safety makes some sense. Okay. But then where's his third E-Tank coming from? There are two in Big Pink. Will he go all the way to Edikuns for one? I guess it's not too bad.
No, that's not terrible.
And it, Alright, so that
He has
is
to finish in Spore Spots, where Etiquettes aren't that far.
Gauntlet E-Tank for JD. He's actually almost finished row 4. And once he kills Spore Spawn, he'll already be done that tile. So he still has to go and collect the rest of his power bombs. Oh, you know what? The Edikun super missile, easy. He has to go down to Edikuns to get the power bombs. It's a Brinstar power bomb pack, and right there, there's another super missile pack for him. So that's easy. Column 1, row 4.
Oh,
You
man.
you literally just open a door and it's right there.
JD is actually closing in on completion here very shortly. This is his route has really worked out. We see some suitless, or at least gravityless, Meridia here from Azure going towards that Meridia map station.
Yeah, not the worst of suitless Meridia objectives, honestly. Probably the easiest possible suitless Meridia objective, actually.
Yeah, this
he
is...
does have to watch
definitely
his ammo, though. He does need a super missile to get out. Oh, he doesn't have to... Well, whatever. It's just swag points. And that's the third super missile pack right there. It already grabbed those Edikun supers, so... Oh, yet another tile for JD here.
Oh, man. So, he's got 3 more power bomb packs to collect in Brinstar. So they are going to take a little bit of time. And then he'll probably just end up in Spore Spawn's room to close things out.
So... We've got the Retro Brinstar, the blue area, and we've got the Mission Impossible power bombs. You got the 2 in Red Tower, and you got this one. So, yeah, it's just going to be Big Pink and Retro Brinstar power bombs. And then he just has to kill Spore Spawn, and he's done.
Azure looks to be going for the Forgotten Highway, I think, to visit his Criteria Meridia elevator now.
He still needs to visit that elevator. Without having picked up Gravity Suit, that is actually going to be a nice chunk of time here. And I forget if it's the West Sand Sewer or the East Sand Sewer, but you have to be careful on how you freeze the mini Dragons. I think it's actually West Sand Sewer. I think he's fine here. So he actually wants to enter the Sandfall from a higher point here. I think is how this works.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you could actually get through this.
I mean, but this is the guy that I've seen do a double springball jump. So
okay.
yeah, yeah. I think he actually just has to do a nice high jump and enter the Sandfall from a higher point, and then just kind of move over. But oh no. That's JD is closing in on the finish here, and looks like Azure is having to do a little bit of rerouting.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I mean, he picked a bold path, lava diving into Lower Norfair and then doing the suitless Meridia as well.
It's such a shame after seeing that really expert Ridley fight without the safety of Gravity Suit. But if he decides to go through wrecked ship, that means he'll actually have to kill Fantoon in order to even access that elevator.
It looks like he might be pivoting, but JD is honing in on the win here. He is heading towards everyone's favorite boss,
Yay.
Spore Spawn. No skipping Spore Spawn today.
I'm assuming he grabbed the Mission Impossible power bombs while I wasn't looking, so.
Yeah, he grabbed them on the way down to
do
blue.
that. So yeah, defeating Spore Spawn will finish his top left, bottom right, and obviously he will be in Spore Spawn's room for finishing Spore Spawn. So Spore Spawn's actually kind of funny. The flags actually set for Spore Spawn dying when he starts exploding, not when the drops appear. It's slightly different from all the other mini bosses in the game, but. So as soon as Spore Spawn explodes, that will be a dot done from our blue contender, Just Defend, on the bottom stream there. And meanwhile, I think Azur's plan right now is to go and kill Fantoon. Since he has to do that bottom right tile, visit the Forgotten Highway elevator, and that's it. That's it. We're done here.
Yeah, Just Defend finishing with an official time of 37:36. GG to JD. As you're grabbing another E-Tank here in Blue Brinstar. Again, working towards that 9 E-Tank goal. Just so much item collection here. And the chore of going down to Lower Norfair, I think the time just kept adding up. And you know, that has to do a lot with identifying a good or a difficult or time-consuming row, column, or diagonal for your opponent, and also identifying, you know, how can I route this? We saw a little bit of an issue with Azur's route in Meridia there, and that can really play a big role.
Yeah,
cool spark though.
Yeah.
The pit room. I like that.
There's another missile pack for him. It's going to be helping one of his required tiles. So yeah, it looks like he's just set on killing Fantoon and going the intended way through the Forgotten Highway, but I actually think that it also requires Gravity Suit to go the normal way through Forgotten Highway, so not only does he have to kill Fantoon, but he has to do the whole go through Rick Ship, bowling cutscene, and everything.
There's the Craterius super missile there for Azure.
Hey, you're in charge of his tiles. I'm done.
Well, I'm just explaining that it happened. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And looks like gonna go up for the Gauntlet Energy Tank, which makes a lot of sense since he wants to be grabbing E-Tanks anyways.
Yeah, he's going for that 9. So, how about you viewers at home? What do you guys think? Think you'd like to see more dab? You want to get in a summer 2019 dab tournament, huh?
It's a really, really dynamic and fun format to play. It's, you know, you got to really think on your feet because you don't get to dictate what you're doing. You're trying to mitigate the damage the whole time.
What has
You're
it
trying
been?
to
3 years?
craft.
3 years
Yeah.
since we've had a dab tournament? Come on, guys. But man, 37-36, fantastic time.
It's a great time identifying a really, really kind of cohesive set of objectives there. For
Yeah, and it's not like Astor picked a bad diagonal for him here either. I mean, having to collect Spring Ball and not collect Ice Beam for most runners is generally going to mean going all the way down to Norfair to Crocomire, then all the way back up to Meridia, and then making him go and kill Sports. Like, it was a good choice for diagonals for Astor to pick for him as well.
JD.
So yeah, if you're just tuning in and you're not sure what dab means, we keep saying dab or double anti-bingo on the stream there. What it means is that we have this bingo card you see on the top right there of your stream. And the object of bingo is to get 5 in a row, either on a row, a vertical, or a diagonal. But with double anti-bingo, what it means is that your opponent picks one set of 5 that you have to do, and then you pick your own set of 5. So we see that JD, Just Defend, has already finished at 37-36. He was assigned top left and bottom right by his opponent Asdar, and then he also went and finished row 4. So you want to kind of find tiles that synergize with each other. Like you see, he was assigned defeat Spore Spawn, so he also gave himself the column 4 row 4 tile finish in Spore Spawn's room. So actually just accomplished 2 birds with 1 stone there. Accomplished 2 birds with 1 stone. That's how that saying goes, right?
Sounds about right.
I don't like wrecked ship. There aren't that many frogs in this place.
Yeah, not a lot of frogs, but there are plenty of super packs. But I think Azure doesn't really want any items. I think he just wants to go to the Forgotten Highway. That's really his
I don't
objective
know.
here.
I don't
He might
think
get the E-tank
I
along the
don't
way.
think Suitless Forgotten Highway is going to be any easier than Suitless West Sand Sewer.
But yeah, he is going to be able to grab this wreck ship E-tank, so that's kind of nice for the route towards Forgotten Highway to get that Criterium Meridia elevator.
If
But
he
he's
can
going to
get
get
there,
1 item here. Yeah.
I'm suspicious. I don't think you can actually get through Forgotten Highway without gravity suit. Maybe if you had space jump, I don't know. But I mean, Asdar's average time is about 10 minutes faster than mine, so yeah, we'll see. Oh, this is actually a pretty tough room here. Depending on which 100% route he prefers. Okay. Did he actually turn off high jump boots?
He de-equipped high
Okay.
jump. Unfortunately, took a little spill there and fell in the water, but
That's what I usually like to do.
80
Just,
tanks, so he's
gosh
one away.
dang it, high jump boots. I love you, but just once in a while, you don't help me. So what run do we have coming up next? We have double anti-bingo. Oh, we have the big any percent community race, which is actually a weekly happenstance for the Super Metroid community. And this is actually going to be an open race. I don't know who they're restreaming, but this race coming up, the any percent, is basically open to every single person that has a Speedruns Live account and can join in on the race. So this is going to be a nice, huge, let's do this 25th anniversary race. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And yeah, we're just getting set up for that as Asdar finishes here.
You can see Azure trying to get out of the water. He's kind of stuck in the water right now, but
Yeah, fortunately he has ice
Criterium
beam.
Meridia elevator.
I don't. So yeah, actually the Speedruns Live race room is already open for the any percent, so you can go ahead and join that right now. That's going to be following this double anti-bingo race.
Yeah, and as Cross said, it is a weekly race, so if you want to get involved with the community, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, which, you know, Super Metroid's such an interesting game, there's so many ways to play, and, you know, jump in, have a good time, race against all these awesome players out there.
Yeah. One of the things that I absolutely love about Super Metroid speedruns is you can always, with the exception of low percent, you can always tailor your route to match your skills. Like, it's not that hard to say pick up an extra E-tank here and there, grab Spazer Beam for some extra early game damage. There are always ways to tailor the run to meet your skill level. Unlike, say, I mean, Donkey Kong Country 2 is a great game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But when you speedrun Donkey Kong Country 2, you go start to finish, and maybe you can pick up some extra lives here and there. You can get your nice heinous swag in the minecart level, the roller coaster level. But for the most part, you're basically just following the route. You know, with Super Metroid, you can branch out many different ways depending on which safeties you want to pick up, which strats you're most comfortable with.
All right,
And-
so I'm getting word that Asger's just going to drop because he didn't realize that he had to do something really ridiculous that he doesn't know how to do.
Yeah, we
So
do
that's
have an
going to be
official
it
forfeit.
yeah, that's an official forfeit from Asger. So we're going to take a quick break here. Thanks again to Alucard and Cross Product for commentating, and Just Defend and Asger for playing Double Anti Bingo. This
Yeah, make
is
sure-
last call for joining the race on SRL. So if you want to join, get in there now and ready. But other than that, we're going to take a quick break. Thanks, everybody.
Cool. I just wanted to real
Great.
quick also plug the runners, Asder and Just Defend. Really, these guys are playing Super Metroid all the time, so if you like what you see, absolutely check out these guys' channels and give them a follow.
All right, we'll be right back.